Trusting God through every season of life, especially during trials, is a theme that resonates deeply within Isaiah 43. This passage articulates God's unwavering presence and protection, symbolized through the imagery of waters, rivers, and fire. These elements, representing various life challenges, remind us of God's steadfast commitment to walk with us, ensuring we are not overwhelmed, swept away, or consumed. The assurance of God's presence is rooted in His sovereignty. We are invited to rest in the fact that no trial can exceed the limits He has set. Even in the fire, we are securely held in His hands. This promise speaks to the relational nature of God's presence, emphasizing that our ability to withstand life's trials is not due to our strength, but His commitment to be with us. A powerful illustration of God's presence in the fire is the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Thrown into a fiery furnace for their refusal to worship a false god, they were unharmed because a fourth figure, identified as God's presence, walked with them. This story serves as a reminder that God's presence transcends circumstances, shielding us and bringing us safely through. Walking through fire challenges us to view trials from an eternal perspective. The heat of the flames may feel unbearable, yet God's promises remind us that trials are temporary, while His purposes are eternal. The fire is not the end of the story. It is a part of the journey leading to a greater revelation of His glory. This perspective allows us to endure with hope, focusing on the faithfulness of the One who walks with us. The assurance that the flames will not set us ablaze speaks to God's ability to bring good from difficult situations. While the fire may be painful, it serves a purpose. God uses our trials to deepen our faith, strengthen our character, and equip us to minister to others. These experiences, seemingly meant to harm, become testimonies of God's power and grace. This truth gives meaning to pain, placing it within the context of God's redemptive work. Fire reveals what truly matters. In trials, superficial elements fall away, leaving only what is eternal. These moments force us to confront priorities and depend fully on God, reminding us that our strength and identity are found in Him alone. While the fire tests us, it also refines our faith, proving it genuine and precious in God's eyes. Isaiah 43:2 is not just reassurance, it is an invitation to trust God more deeply. Walking through fire requires surrender, letting go of fears, doubts, and control. It calls us to place confidence in the One who promises protection, urging us to walk boldly even when the flames seem too hot. This trust is an active choice to believe in God's promises and live as if they are true. The declaration that we will not be burned affirms our identity as God's children. We are not defined by the fires we face, but by the God who walks with us. Our worth is affirmed by His unchanging love, giving us strength to stand firm. This verse highlights God's faithfulness, reminding us that His promises are declarations of His character and commitment. As we reflect on Isaiah 43, the message is clear. God's presence and power accompany us through every challenge and trial. These promises are not abstract concepts. They are living assurances from a God who cares deeply for His children. He speaks directly to us, reminding us that no matter what we face, He sustains, protects, and guides us. Walking through the waters, rivers, and fire requires active engagement with God's promises. It demands faith that chooses trust, even without visible evidence of deliverance. It involves placing one foot in front of the other, knowing that the Creator has declared, "I will be with you." This is not a distant presence. It is intimate and personal, ensuring we are not consumed. The imagery of waters, rivers, and fire symbolizes different trials. Deep waters represent overwhelming challenges. Rushing rivers signify transitions and changes, and consuming fire represents intense refining moments. In each scenario, God's promise remains: we will not be overtaken, swept away, or burned. His words provide a framework for enduring every trial. God's presence calls us to live boldly, stepping into life's challenges with confidence. Trials become opportunities for growth, transformation, and intimacy with God. The waters teach us to swim in faith, rivers propel us into new purposes, and fire refines our character. Understanding that God's presence does not exempt us from hardship, but promises to be with us, we discover His faithfulness in the storm's midst. In every season, God's promises shine brightly, guiding us through life's transitions and trials. By trusting in His presence and power, we embrace the journey with faith, knowing that He is with us every step of the way.